Hi, my name is Elise Allen, and I am in the business management program at Blackhawk. This class, Business Sustainability, we did our final project on the Italian House restaurant in Janesville, Wisconsin. The members included Connie, Suzanne, Amber, and myself. Our report, which I dropped off a copy at your office, Helen, includes the introduction. We met Edmund Halabai at his restaurant. He spent about three hours with us, generously showing us through all the daily processes, talking to us, showing us items that he has already done to be sustainable, and as well as offering his ideas on improvement, and we did the same for him. He has a restaurant which he runs 7 days a week, in addition to a new banquet room on his restaurant where he can do weddings and caterings. He sells retail out of Woodman's grocery stores and the high schools in Janesville. What we learned from Edmund was that not all businesses can afford to be sustainable. It does take some money. And I think Edmund has done the best he can with the resources that he has. Next in our report is social responsibility. Here is one of the areas where Edmund he realizes how important it is. He has done his part in the areas that he can. He currently has a machine which measures the amount of chemicals used for dispensing, whereas instead of having an employee go and measuring how much cleaner to put in a mop bucket where they could put way too much in or not enough, these machines dispense it automatically so you're not to use too much or too little. He does recycling already in his business, donates any leftover food to the Echo business in Janesville, which feeds the homeless. We feel there's still room for improvement, yet it's a worldwide effort. I mean, and Edmund can't do this all on his own. We felt he could offer incentives in his business, and if he were to make it part of a daily process, as he's training his employees, show them that this is how you do it and this is how much chemical you use, but include that in the training. Don't just say, oh, here's the mop bucket, you got to put some of this chemical in it. He needs to actually show them and work with them and show them how much to use and have that in the training. Same with the light fixtures, tell them, okay, this is what time we turn the lights on, as opposed to them coming in and leaving the lights on all day, or anything that they can do to save in any area of their business. Next in our report is the waste audit, and that shows areas where we felt Edmund could improve to be more green. And then the restroom recommendations comes next. When we visited Edmund, he did a hand washing demo for us, which I'm going to share with you. He explained how he's got the older faucets here that you turn the water on, you leave the water running, the customer comes and they dispense however much soap they want. So, if you get somebody who is soap happy, or sometimes even they have drips, the dispensers, so it's just a waste. It could be wasteful. And you're supposed to sing happy birthday twice while you're washing your hands for it to be effective. All the time this water's going and going. Then you leave the water on while you get your paper towels, which he also has. There's no telling how much paper towel a person is going to use. A lot of people feel more is better when in actuality it is not. And notice how the the faucet is still going while I'm doing this because in food service, well, even as a person anywhere, you know, I myself prefer to turn off the handle with the paper towels. So I'm not getting the germs back on my hands. Same with opening the door with the paper towels. And then this goes into the garbage. So we felt that that was one area that Edmund could improve upon. If he were to have faucets that automatically shut off and shut on as your hands are here, soap dispensers that dispense a certain amount, the required amount, necessary amount for cleaning your hands of soap, as opposed to the customer coming and repeatedly squeezing it, and hand dryers as opposed to paper towels would definitely save a lot of money. And you can see in the A3, the process map, the waste stream map, and the cost analysis, that how much money Edmund spends a week on paper towels and soap and how much he would save, because it does compare it to the hand dryers. Now the toilet, we thought that Edmund could try the dual flushing toilets. He currently has standard toilets. Standard toilets, as you flush them, they use up 3.5 gallons of water. With the dual flushing toilet, if it's a liquid waste, you would use just 0.9 gallons of water, and for solid waste, 1.6 gallons of water. So he would save on his water bill, as well as reducing the amount of wastewater going to the plant. Next in our report is the light bulb comparison. Government standards are changing now, and the standard T12 fluorescent light bulb is no longer going to be made. This is forcing the consumer to use the new T8 bulbs, which are a 32 watt as opposed to a 40 watt, and a cost savings of $7. They both put out the same amount of light and for the same amount of time, and these light bulbs are I said you save about $7 per light bulb. Another option would be to use LED lights. These are more expensive bulbs, more like $30. However, they use 1/30% less wattage than the fluorescent light bulbs do, and they last 10 times longer. So it depends how much. It would be a big investment at the time. It depends how much you had to put into it. And Edmund has told us that he's not going to have this business much longer. He's getting close to retirement age. Yes, he'll pass it on to his children. However, they can decide the light bulb situation. He felt that he's not going to be there long enough to recoup his costs in replacing the bulbs. But with the new government standards, he will be going to the T8s. The other thing about the LED lights is they contain no mercury as opposed to the T8 and the T12, so you don't have to worry about disposal because the mercury is not there. You know, you don't want the mercury to end up in the dump. You need to dispose of it in a proper manner. Next, our report consisted of the transportation subject. The A3 follows. I did a comparison on Edmund's van, which he uses, and it's an older model van. He spends $7,800 a year on gasoline. I compare it to a new Ford hybrid, which also uses electricity, and gas savings, he would spend about $2,600 on gas a year as opposed to the $7,800 with his new van. So I felt he could have his van paid, a new vehicle paid off within 6 years. The advantage of a hybrid is it does not emit as much gas, CO2, into the environment. So there's less global warming, saves Edmund money and time spent at the gas station, and it uses less of one of our unrenewable sources, which is oil. Next in our project was the rooftop garden, the garden process map, the waste stream map, and the A3 for the rooftop garden. We thought this was an area where Edmund could utilize rainwater. What it is a garden on top of the roof, because he does have a flat roof. Use the rainwater, he could produce tomatoes, he could produce herbs, which are used in many Italian dishes. It reduces the amount of wastewater going to the plant, and the advantages are that it would insulate could we do that part again? It would insulate the roof, blocking out the sun in the summertime, yet insulating it in the wintertime, so aiding his electrical bill. And then just public image. Just think of the image that the customers would get knowing that Edmund grew these right there in his restaurant. It would show that he cares about the environment and wants to help. Now, next is communicating the plan to employees. It's important to show how important this is to the employees and to the world. Educate them, show them how it's going to help their future generations. Ask them for involvement, get their ideas. I thought of having a green team, which it could meet monthly or every 6 months to show how improvements were made, what improvements were made, and how they benefited the business or benefited the earth. Next was further opportunities. We noticed when we were at Edmund's restaurant, they had a door propped open. This either is going to be let pests in or increase his energy bill if he's trying to heat or cool the building. We felt a tankless water heater was another area where Edmund could utilize less water. However, he would have to reschedule the way they do the dishes, so it would involve a new process for dishwashing procedures at his restaurant. The other idea was to plan their trips in and out of the cooler and the freezer, which are connected. In order to get to the walk-in freezer, you have to walk through the cooler. So make a list, and get it all on one trip. Ask your coworkers, do you need any? I'm going in the cooler, do you need anything as I'm in there? And then there would placement of some PV strips between the freezer and the cooler, and as you open the cooler door to go through those PVC strips would help to let less air out. Next in our project was a PowerPoint that Amber had made and the works cited, and we hope you enjoy our project. Thank you.